Hello everyone, and welcome back to WWE Universe. I'm your host, Jitch. We're in Chicago, Illinois. We're finally out of Los Angeles for Monday Night Raw. For real, if you go to the wiki and you look at the shows section and you go to Monday Night Raw, the last like 3 episodes of Raw have all been in Los Angeles, California. I can't remember if last week's was, but I never really noticed until I was writing it, and I was just like, why are we always in California? I don't understand. Anyway, we're kicking things off here tonight with a big 6-man battle royal. The winner of this battle royal will be declared the #1 contender to the light heavyweight championship. I gotta be honest, I feel like Shane should really take a step back, maybe forget about championships for a little while, maybe try to actually pick up a victory for the first time in his career rather than constantly concerning over the light heavyweight title. But Shane McMahon has gone on record to say that Brian Pillman is the reason Shane McMahon lost at Over the Limit. It was bias officiating at its finest, and he deserves another shot, a fair shot, with a real official against Zack Ryder for the light heavyweight championship, as it was an injustice what happened to McMahon in their championship matchup. So there you go. There's pretty much Shane McMahon's opinion on what happened at Over the Limit. He is making excuses. He is declaring that he deserves another shot. Well, he might get it, but he's got to outlast 5 of the best light heavyweight / cruiserweight superstars here on Raw. It's going to be interesting to see who comes down to this battle royal. All these superstars eligible to compete for the light heavyweight championship currently held by Zack Ryder. Ryder will be having a rematch with Jinder Mahal here tonight. He's going to be going one-on-one with Jinder after what went down last week on Raw. Ryder was furious to have been stood up so hard as the current light heavyweight champion of Raw. He says that he has a standard to live up to, and Jinder Mahal set him back, but that all changes tonight in their rematch. So I'm very curious to see what will happen in a one-on-one rematch between Ryder and Jinder, but that is up next. Right now we're focusing on a new contender for the light heavyweight championship, which could very well be former light heavyweight champion R-Truth. He was the man that actually brought in the light heavyweight championship weight restriction. Said that he didn't want to be limited to some of the smaller superstars. Does he just think Booker T's at ringside all the time? Because he's not. Booker T actually will be involved in a big main event tonight. Here comes one of our new superstars. It's like Justin Roberts was like weighing 205 pounds and he looked at the sheet of paper. Oh, no, that's true. Oh yeah. He looked at the sheet of paper and he was just like, you know what? I don't want to say his name. No. What's wrong with Hunico? I don't understand. Well, Hunico joins the light heavyweight division here on Raw. And there have been a few superstars on Raw that we still have not seen just yet. I believe SmackDown still has one superstar that's not quite made their debut yet. So we're near enough now, you know. We're a few weeks into the season now. We're starting to really see the whole roster all together. Hunico making his debut here tonight. He really likes crossing his arms. That was his video. That's his thing, I guess. And here comes another new superstar. Good friend of Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Back when DX was his thing. He's a little late to the party. There he is. X-Pac joins the light heavyweight division, and this is a superstar that I think a lot of people have been hoping to see join Monday night. It's obviously the light heavyweight division exclusive to Monday Night Raw. We got to get the best in some of these smaller built superstars. Give that division some real beef. Obviously, there are several other superstars on Raw that are not in this matchup. That will be Nemesis, Jetstar, Shawn Michaels, Cody Rhodes, Ted DiBiase, all parts of the light heavyweight division. But right now, We got these 5 in the ring. I don't actually know who we could have as our 6th participant in this one. That's the final mystery member of Raw. Who? Oh! Back from injury.
Representing the Bull from Cape Town, South Africa, weighing 213 pounds,
Justin Gabriel. This has got to be quite the surprise to Heath Slater, who signed up for this matchup to become maybe the next contender for the Light Heavyweight Championship. I don't think he was expecting to go up against his tag team partner. Oh. Well, I hope they managed to make it out of this one okay. Never like seeing a team go up against each other. I think I'm going to have to be right back in a second. Yes, I believe I am going to have to be right back in a second. There is a person beeping outside my door. Be right back.
Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler joining you from Chi-Town, Chicago, Illinois. And we're already going with what should be a raucous Monday night here on Raw.
Oh, man! And that one hurt his hand.
And the agile R-Truth lands a hard right.
An elbow.
R-Truth from behind.
What an impact from that kick.
R-Truth into the tie-up. Nobody wants to give an inch in this.
Oh, my, what a jawbreaker. He's enjoying this. What a haymaker. A huge right hand. Ouch. That elbow did some damage.
Nico got Justin Gabriel on the ropes. We're glad to see I didn't miss any eliminations. Gotta love our mailmen. They always seem to know when to pick, when to show up. It's always like, it'll always be in the first few minutes of a match on like Raw that, like, you know, because I try to do like a week in one sitting, and they'll always show up right as I start, and it's just like, I can't seriously just be that bad at picking when I begin. I can't just be that. For real. Like, some days I'll start this at like kind of like 3 PM and stuff, and like still there'll be some kind of delivery that will show up like right as I do. There's always just a quiet moment. I thought Heath Slater was under my control for a minute there because he kind of froze. No. Obviously this is an interesting matchup. It's very important for X-Pac and Hunico to kind of stand out and quickly make their impact in the debut. We've seen a lot of people try to kind of quickly go for championships upon their debuts here in the WWE, and that really hasn't been something that's worked out too well lately. X-Pac eliminating Heath Slater, that's a damn shame. I thought Slater had a brilliant showing in the Intercontinental Championship match at Over the Limit just, what, 8 days ago. But nonetheless, Heath Slater will not be challenging for the light heavyweight title. Again, I feel like a championship pursuit may be something he may need to push back a little bit for now in terms of his priorities. I know there's 5 titles here on Raw. I know that's a big spotlight for the WWE in general, but obviously one thing you got to bear in mind is that things are different now. We have brand exclusive pay-per-views. We can have the spotlight given to those that aren't just pursuing championships. Of course, here tonight we've got a lot of focus on championships. That's because next week we're borrowing an idea from, the core not looking too strong here tonight. We're borrowing a little bit of an idea from Friday Night SmackDown, and we're going to be having a fight night next week on Raw, where all of the championships will be on the line, and that's why we've got so many contenders matches happening here tonight. As out of the ring goes Shane McMahon. Tell you what, these newcomers, Hunico and X-Pac, really closing in on potentially being next in line for a light heavyweight championship shot. It'll be interesting to see if one of them could quickly take the title away from Zack Ryder. Hunico just kind of decided to look over his shoulder for a second there. I'm going to have to be right back again. I heard a noise. Sweat God. And oh, there goes X-Pac. Okay, well he's not getting a light heavyweight title shot by the looks of it. So it's going to be either R-Truth of the Crew or Hunico. This could be a really great debut. No, don't ask for a timeout, Truth. You're the one in control. R-Truth now got Hunico set up in the corner as he lifts him up onto the top. Are we going to see an elimination? Could R-Truth maybe get back what he once lost in the Lightweight Championship? No. Obviously, Mark Henry, the leader of the crew over on ECW, just recently became ECW World Heavyweight Champion. It would be a real honor for R-Truth to win this match here tonight, for Booker T to win the Contenders match for the WWE title in our main event tonight, and to see those two kind of do their leader Mark Henry proud. R-Truth is definitely potential to closing in on this. I mean, all he's got to do is throw this newcomer Hunico over the top, but I've got to be honest, Hunico is really getting the best of R-Truth right now. This has proven to be a great debut for Hunico so far. But nice, well-placed kick to the ribs. I mean, some of the matches we've got here tonight, they're not necessarily Contenders matches, but they've got kind of bonus stipulations applied to them, which I'll be getting into later on. Kick to the midsection there by R-Truth sends Hunico back. Hunico thrown. Oh no! Truth with the whip back. That's that elbow drop connecting. What's Truth gonna do now? Oh, big strikes, one after another. Oh, Hunico getting put in his place here. Where the vet R-Truth has been in the business since the very beginning. Since 2009, we've seen R-Truth as an active competitor. And R-Truth is the #1 contender. So R-Truth versus Zack Ryder for the Light Heavyweight Championship next week. Great to see him finally pick up a victory since coming here to Raw. R-Truth, your #1 contender for the Light Heavyweight Championship. Has he got what it takes to defeat Zack Ryder and capture that championship for the second time in his career next week on Raw? I kind of hope so, to be honest. I mean, R-Truth is long overdue a spotlight back on him again, if you ask me. What a well-deserved victory here tonight for R-Truth as we move towards our next match of the night. Zack Ryder, Jinder Mahal set to face off one-on-one once again. God, we need to fire this man. He is a horrible ring announcer. Doesn't even say Hunico's name, and then he just goes making his way to the ring and says nothing? How is this man still employed? I never liked his ring announcing anyway. Get rid of him. Get him out. Tony Chimmel, all shows, now. Superstar. Jinder Mahal fired up as he makes his way down to the ring for this one-on-one contest with Zack Ryder. Jinder Mahal claiming that he is a rightful contender to a championship. He is above the weight limit for the light heavyweight title. I don't understand. Does anyone know what the deal with Zack Ryder's woo-woo-woo thing was in this game? Because, like, they censor it on his shirt and his headband and in, like, pictures of him, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and, like, the video, I think, even. But, like, his Minitron has it. And it even says woo-woo-woo, you know it, on the side and stuff. And it's just like, why did they cut it off of him, then? I never really understood that. I'd never really gotten to the bottom of why it was that they decided to censor that. In case you're curious why this match is actually happening for a second time, it keeps saying it's a remarkable match, and I'm trying to see if the remarkable matches are worth doing in this game. So I remember, I think it was either 13 or 14, one of the two. Like the game would book rivalries with these remarkable matches, but cutscenes would, like, rather than 12 where they happen almost all the time, but they happened in the dumbest ways. In 13, I remember I think it was 13, they just kind of never happened. I know they had a function where you got to make a choice. There was like a drop down where it was like you picked either the top one or the bottom one. But I also know that in regards to that function, a lot of people were annoyed because it was exclusive to Attitude Era characters mostly. Like, a lot of them were like Attitude Era based, like cutscenes and stuff.
someone who grew up a pampered rich
I'm not
boy,
really sure what the
as
deal
they
with that is, but I'm curious to see if anything happens with this. Otherwise, this Ryder Mahal feud ends tonight. Because I noticed a lot of what I booked last week was actually like the games. I just kind of wanted to see like where it would go. So like Bret Hart versus Orton, that was the game. Slater and Cody was the game. This was the game. I don't know what the matches last week were. The women's match, I believe I booked the women's match. And for some reason, I'm just not remembering what the opener last week was. But yeah, at least 3 of the matches last week were all booked by the game. And when I got to Raw again this week in the game, it booked the exact same show, top to bottom. Like this was match 2, just like it was last week. Slater and Rhodes was match 3, just like it was last week. And the main event was Bret with Bulldog versus Orton with Ted again. And it was just like, oh, okay. This is the game where it doesn't know how to book Universe at all. It was this game.
Oh, geez, lights out. He's really using his weight to his advantage here, reaching on the head and neck.
Whoa!
Jinder reversed it. I hope they searched him extra before he got in the ring. You know, Jinder is a practicing Sikh, and that means he carries a knife with him everywhere he goes.
This will be a physical battle. The quick kick.
Jinder looking to cap.
Be curious to see if Jinder Mahal can pick up more momentum over Zack Ryder. You'd have to think if Ryder loses here tonight, that is not a very confident man going into his light heavyweight championship defense with R-Truth next week. Regardless of the outcome of tonight's matches, there will be championship matches next week. It's just that some of them will have big implications on what happens in the championship matches next week, which again, as I said before, I will get into as those matches take place. Obviously, even if Jinder beats Ryder here tonight, Jinder cannot challenge for the light heavyweight championship. And right now, Jinder is without his tag team partner, the Great Khali. Khali, for those that may have missed it, last week won the Hardcore Championship over on ECW after being voted in. He challenged the Big Show and defeated the Big Show for the Hardcore title. Khali is currently now an ECW superstar until he loses the Hardcore Championship. He will remain on that show.
And he drops the leg across his opponent.
I give credit where it's due. That was a pretty slick move by Jinder.
You're a pretty slick move.
A battle of wills now. There's a takedown.
YouTube when they see Drew McIntyre's entrance. There's a takedown.
Squeezing down on the head.
I've had a lot of complaints about not being able to see episodes of SmackDown because they keep getting copyright claims. That is Drew McIntyre's entrance, and I cannot do a thing about it. They do not respond to my disputes, and I am not going to stop using Drew McIntyre. So I'm sorry for the few countries that cannot see it, but you're going to have to just miss SmackDown when Drew's on it, I'm afraid. I'm not cutting Drew. He's one of my top guys. I'm not even trying to be an ass there. I'm just being completely honest. Like, I'm not cutting Drew McIntyre out of the show.
And he fights out of it. He breaks the hold. Jinder Mahal controlling the
I'm really not sure what to think of this match. I mean, I'll be honest. This match doesn't really do a whole lot for me. Like, not because of like my opinions of either guy, but because no matter what happens, like this has nothing to do with Ryder's current championship, and Jinder doesn't really gain a whole lot other than a victory if he beats Zack Ryder here tonight. I mean, obviously that's something that Jinder really needs. Well, I mean, he's probably not going to get now. Rough Ryder connecting there by Zack Ryder, the lightweight champion, in the cover on Jinder. Oh my God, a 2 count. Wow, they must have a lot of faith in these two guys to give them the honors of a 2 count. Headlock. Blocked.
An explosive suplex. Ouch.
These guys are giving it absolutely everything they've got. Boy, he was able to reverse and get out of that.
Ryder continuing to be in control. This is definitely more of a fight he's putting up this week than he did last week against Jinder Mahal. Uh-oh. Okay. Whenever I see a roll-up, uh-oh is just my natural reaction.
What an impact from that kick.
And how long will this one go?
Into the tie-up. Who's going to get the upper hand?
Me.
Leg drop.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't think I'll be letting the game book too much this season by the looks of it. It doesn't seem like what it's booking is really contributing anything. I mean, as I said before, I'm pretty sure this, or one of these games, is the one that, like, its idea of a championship rivalry, or a pay-per-view worthy rivalry, is to just have them face each other every week and then face off for the title at the pay-per-view also. And that's not really, there's not really a story being told there. They're on like match number 8 by the time they finally face off for the title. I know we just recently had something very similar with the Disciples as well, don't get me wrong. I'm aware that there was a lot of back and forward matches between the Power Trip and that. But they kind of came at a certain time. Like, I wasn't intending to put the Disciples back into contention, but the Disciples as a tag team this season are undefeated. And when they first started off the season, they won, and that put them in a top spot. There's no other tag teams in contention. A pay-per-view was just 3 weeks into the season. They kind of needed to go for the titles, because otherwise they didn't really have a tag-worthy contender.
Ryder's in trouble.
So I kind of had to really put them in that situation, and they just made the most of it, which is honestly kind of nice to see. I feel like their rise to winning a championship was quite organic and not forced at all, which is what I prefer. I mean, I would have been happy if they'd never won a championship, even, like, you know, there was no preference in regards to that, because that's always a sticky situation, you know. Oh, you're putting yourself over, brother, and I'm like, yeah, I heard that one before.
What a haymaker.
But I'm not putting myself over. That's the
Nice takedown
difference.
there. And Jinder Mahal is busted wide open. Uh-oh. What are we going to see here?
Jinder into the ring. Do not know what to think of this matchup. To avoid that.
Out of the way.
An incredible series of moves there. Nobody's budging an inch in this one. Not again.
Not again. Sorry, my throat is really black right now. I'm not getting sick, hopefully. Oh, there you go. Zack Ryder with the win. Well, that's the kind of momentum that he needed heading into his match with R-Truth next week. But that doesn't spell good things for Jinder Mahal. No, we're not going to do the arm raise, are we? No, Jinder's not turning face. He just fucking debuted. Suck a dick.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring, representing
Whoa!
the United Kingdom, Tiny Storm.
I always forget how crazy Tiny Shiny's pyro actually is. Well, Tiny Shiny making her way down to the ring here tonight, set to go one-on-one with Kelly Kelly after last week's big four-way victory, where Tiny Shiny came out as the victor of a matchup between the women's champion as well as some very top contenders, such as the former women's champion Natalya and the over-the-limit opponent Trish Stratus. This just in, Justin Roberts is sexist towards men. He will gladly announce a women's match. He will gladly introduce them all. But he goes dead quiet. when it comes to the men. He just won't introduce them unless he feels like it. Here tonight, Tiny Shiny could be closer than ever to becoming a two-time women's champion. All she's got to do is defeat Kelly Kelly, which she technically did last week on Raw in that four-way matchup. And it will be Tiny Shiny facing off against Kelly Kelly for the women's championship next week on Raw. However, if Tiny Shiny loses to Kelly Kelly here tonight, then next week on Raw in our fight night, Natalya will get a women's championship rematch. So Natalya obviously going to be rooting on Tiny Shiny losing this matchup, but I for one am not. Go Tiny Shiny. You can do it.
Nobody home for that one.
Nobody home for that one.
Wow! And Silva takes a devastating shot.
Oh my gosh!
Kelly with the arm.
Kelly.
What a hurricane run.
Sounds like automated. Michael Cole.
Kelly
Automated.
from behind.
He did it again. Kelly.
Incredible suplex.
He sounds like he's been like really hurt by her. Like, but she...
Oh, a textbook takedown.
just sounds so upset with her. Kelly.
Bit of a test of strength here.
This women's match going to be highly important if your name is Tiny Shiny.
In the corner, and now
But I think women like Natalya and Trish Stratus are going to be very heavily rooting against Tiny Shiny in this one. Definitely not exactly made a lot of allies.
Oh man, did you hear
Oh man!
Look at these two
Oh,
jockeying
you
for position.
I don't know why the shit he's saying is tickling me so much right now, but it is. Oh man!
Kelly with a nice reversal.
Goes behind.
Reversal. Silva reverses it.
Yeah?
Controlling the waist.
Anybody else do any reversing lately? Oh, the commentary in this game.
Time for a white flag I could wave.
I don't know what's going on with it.
Controlling the arm.
Reversal! Reversed it! She reversed it! What a reversal!
Into the tie-up. Who's going to get the upper hand? Silva from behind.
Devastating. Just a devastating neck breaker.
Tiny Shiny really putting the women's champion in her place. A lot of people argue that Kelly Kelly's women's championship victory is nothing more than a fluke. She hasn't ever really proven herself as a top contender. But believe it or not, since Season 3 started, Kelly Kelly is currently on a 3-0 win... No, sorry, that ended last week, actually. She was on a 3-0 win streak that came to an end at the hands of Tiny Shiny. But then again, Tiny Shiny is known for ending win streaks. Just ask Karma.
Kelly with the arm.
Stop fucking saying that, Cole. Kelly.
Look at the force behind that leg drop. Oh, the elbow connects. A good reversal by Silva. Oh man, paintbrushed.
What a kick that was.
Oh, short shot to the throat.
Is that some kind of height joke, Paula? You making fun of Tiny Shiny for being tiny?
Impact. Kelly with a great counter. Silva into the headlock.
Oh, down goes Kelly.
Sorry, I voiced the name Kelly Kelly was kind of dumb. Every now and then you just kind of remember that her name was first name.
The opponent face first to the floor.
And someone thought that was a good idea.
What a powerful slam. The quick kick.
Interesting back and forth between these two. Kelly Kelly. Okay, I really thought she was going for something big there, but no.
Silva into the tie-up.
Silva.
Silva controlling the head.
Boy.
Neckbreaker. That was vicious. Oh, what a knee.
And there's the leg drop.
Ow, what an elbow.
The The attack on the skull continues. Quick thinking to avoid that. Wild strike doesn't find a home. Silva squeezing down on the head.
Sorry, I'm just kind of enjoying listening to them talk. It's crazy to think how little effort used to go into the commentary. I mean, it's not great in the games now, but like they at least kind of emote more. Whereas like, I watched a playthrough of 30 Years of WrestleMania recently, and my god, I forgot how much JR phoned in his commentary for that mode. It's the same with Attitude Era mode. JR is just so... like, he just sounds so fed up and dead. Like, he just doesn't sound like he gives a fuck about anything happening in front of him. It's like they showed him the gameplay footage rather than the actual clip. So he just couldn't really react. Because it's a game. And he's seen the real things he was watching happen in front of him. That's gotta be Kane. It's probably also the fact he's heard those lines so many times. He's like, yeah, you know, I'm sick of hearing them. I'm sick of saying them. Probably a wrestling move. Crowd really coming alive for this matchup between Silva and Kelly. And Shiny got the arm. Imagine that being the end. Could be, actually. Could be. Nope. Kelly with the kick out. Women's champion is definitely hurting now. Kelly, slow smo soup next. What the hell? What was that? Kelly, setting up. Big knee across the face, neck breaker, Miz. Kelly dragging Tiny Shiny away from the corner as she goes in for the cover here. Is this going to be a no? Not enough. Women's champion getting frustrated clearly with the fact that Tiny Shiny is just able to kick out of anything. Women's champion throws her away. No, come on, enough with this. We don't need this. We've had so many people lose their temper lately and take that table apart, and I just don't really think that's very fair on our crew that work hard to keep this place neat, tidy, and professional. For you to keep taking that table apart, you need to show it more respect. I don't really know what Kelly's strategy is here. To get a better finishing move, I would hope.
Nice dodge there.
Tiny Shiny with the shove back. Tiny Shiny off the ropes. Tiny Shiny with the kick to the face. What a tough kick. Dragging Kelly over. Is this going to be enough? No, because I'm pretty sure every time you drag, they kick out. Crossbody cover by Kelly. Whoa.
Wow, what a sequence. Intercepted.
Hoping she'd go for the pullback there and not throw out of the ring. Good job, Tiny Shiny. Making me proud. Oh, what a stomp! Drops Tiny Shiny flat on her back. Spin out, droppy, kicky thingy by Kelly. Surprised how long this match has gone for. Remember Kelly's first match in Season 3, that quick submission victory over Natalya. No one will ever forget the controversy that surrounded it. Tiny Shiny in a roll-up. Is that... oh, I really thought that'd be a good way to finish. Just like a sudden roll-up, pins the women's champion, gets the title shot next week. Imagine Kelly losing the championship just over 2 weeks after she finally captured the title from Natalya. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. I thought for a moment there Kelly was going to get the victory. Either way, she's got to defend the title next week. It's just that it's either against Tiny Shiny, who is right now looking to be the rightful #1 contender, or it's going to be against Okay, nice reversal there by Kelly. Or it's going to be against... sorry, I'm not really with it at the moment. It's still pretty, like, soon after I woke up. I just kind of really slept in today. I needed it real bad. It's either going to be against who looks to be the rightful #1 contender in Tiny Shiny, or the former champion herself, Natalya. Had a very short-lived reign as women's champion, if you ask me. After the victory Natalya got over Beth Phoenix at WrestleMania, it's crazy to think that Phoenix is the one currently holding a championship that she never lost, whilst Natalya has already lost her women's championship. And Phoenix got way more defenses under that Divas title already. Talk about a hard break for Natalya. Oh, what a kick.
That was a heavy shot.
Kelly up, but ooh, I like that move. Very good. Tiny Shiny into the cover. Nope, still not enough. Still not enough to put Kelly away. What is the women's champion made of, I wonder? Oh, Tiny Shiny over the ropes, roll up once again. She's really trying to get that victory here. And who could blame her? I mean, that's kind of the goal in the end. Kick to the midsection. Tiny Shiny. Oh, here it comes. 9-2-5. Yeah, she got her. Is she going to go for the cover? Yeah, she is. Tiny Shiny has just pinned the women's champion, which means that next week it will be Tiny Shiny and Kelly for the women's championship. Could Tiny Shiny be just one match away from capturing her second women's championship? I hope so. And you know what else I hope? I hope that her next reign is a hell of a lot longer than her first one. Tiny Shiny with a tremendous victory as she defeats Kelly here tonight. What a win that is. Women's champion doesn't know what hit her. It's jumping around in the ring right now. That's what hit her. As we move towards our next match of the night, we have got tag team action up next. The Legacy set to face off against, and by the Legacy I mean Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase, team up for the first time since about this time last year-ish, as those two team up to face off against the World Tag Team Champions, the Disciples of Darkness. Similar to this match, if Ted and Cody can defeat Nemesis and Jetstar up next, they will be in immediate contention for the World Tag Team titles and will face for them next week. If not, the Power Trip get their rematch next week. Hey, what the hell? Well, this isn't what we had scheduled right now. We were supposed to be hearing, we were supposed to be seeing a World Tag Team Championship match. Or World Tag Team Champions in action. Boy, I am all over the place. But here we see Wade Barrett, who's not scheduled to be coming out here right now. In fact, he wasn't booked for any matches tonight. Barrett has taken it upon himself to spectate the World Tag Team Championship match. I'm not really... I keep calling it the World Tag Team Champions in action. I mean, technically it's their match, but they're not defending. I keep calling it a championship match. There is no title on the line. What is Wade Barrett out here for? Pipe down, I've got something to say. History shows that during the time that Raw was in possession of the European title, I was the greatest champion to hold it. I can do this again. I can be the greatest Intercontinental Champion. So consider this a challenge. Every title is on the line next week. I'm stepping up to the challenge, Miz. I'm stepping up to challenge the Miz. One-on-one. He can't beat me. I'm certain. And another thing. Justin Gabriel. It's good to see you back. I know we have some bad blood between us. History and all. But consider this me extending a hand to you. And Slater too, for that matter. The Core is a great group. But what you need is a leader. I can be your leader. Let's unite and make the Core everything the Nexus never got to be. I'll see you next week, lads.
scheduled for one fall. On the way to the ring, Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Legacy.
Here is a song and a sight that honestly, last year I never thought we were going to see again. But Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase have managed to reunite after a long rivalry over on ECW after falling apart here on Raw. These two seem to have been able to come together and form a brand new version of the Legacy once again with Randy Orton. Orton claimed last week this was his legacy. Things are going to go very differently to what you saw in the past. The Legacy could be in possession of the World Tag Team Championship next week if Cody and Ted can beat the Disciples here tonight. It's going to be an interesting tag match, if you tell me. I'm curious to see how this would look. I just wish that they could actually wear the titles under their jackets. I think that it looks okay, but like I feel like it kind of works for Nemesis's one, but Jetstar's looks like it's a little too stretched. I just wish that wasn't the case. It really bugs me. I hate that they did that, and I don't think they ever fixed that, like ever. I think always CAWs just get that treatment. Well, Nemesis and Jetstar, the Disciples of Darkness, not defending those tag team titles here tonight, but they will defend them for the first time next week, and it could be a very, very short-lived reign for the Disciples of Darkness. As we're starting things off here, Nemesis up against Cody Rhodes. We've got just one more match to come here tonight on Raw following this, an elimination fatal 4-way. You do not want to miss that one. Kevin Nash, not Kevin Nash, where did Kevin Nash come from? Booker T, Shawn Michaels, John Cena, and Kane all facing off in a 4-way. The winner will get a WWE title shot next week against Randy Orton. Of course, John Cena, because of the circumstance in which he won the WWE Championship and the fact he never successfully defended the WWE Championship, is not due a rematch. So he has to earn that title rematch here tonight.
He hits the drop kick from an incredible vertical leap.
Interesting to see who the Disciples are facing off up against. You'd think on paper, the Disciples, Nemesis and Jetstar facing off against the Legacy would actually be better for them. These guys are a little more evenly matched. They're all members of the light heavyweight division, all smaller superstars on the Raw roster. But just the same, the Disciples hold a lot of victories at this point in time over the combination of Kevin Nash and Vader, the Power Trip. So it's hard to say. Cody squeezing down on the head.
Cody
controlling the head.
He swung wild with that one. Goes behind. Cody into the headlock.
Cody.
And he's getting out of there. Oh no. His focus is turned to the announcer.
I don't know why I do these things either, don't worry.
Oh, launched back into the ring. Big time leg drop. And we're going back between the ropes.
He's spending more time outside the ring than in it.
I've always said I think I struggle to commentate matches I don't play more. It's just the Jinder and Ryder one I really had no stance on. Like, yeah, Jinder could use more wins, but also, like, Ryder could use a victory. He is a champion. The Battle Royal, I didn't have a chosen favorite, so that one was fun. I was actually really interested in seeing who won that one. The women's match, same rules apply as always with Tiny Shiny. I do not play her matches. I do not have a determined outcome. What happens with custom superstars is completely up to fate, and the same goes for this match right here, the Disciples. And that just leaves the main event, and honestly I might just let that one play out as well, because I really don't have a favorite in that one either. a lot of what happens next week I'm kind of leaving up to just what goes down here. And I know sometimes people actually prefer when I don't play the matches, but I definitely struggle to pay attention and commentate when I'm not playing the matches. Because it's really weird, but like if I'm not playing it, I just don't care as much. Like I can't necessarily get all that invested. I mean, obviously there's certain Disciples matches that like I'm really invested in because I want to know what the hell's going to happen with them. But I'm not really too fussed what happens in regards to the Tag Team Championship match next week. I'd like for the Disciples to continue their winning ways. At the moment, in Season 3, they are 3-0, I believe. They've not lost a single match since the new season started, which has been great. Like, that's really cool. I mean, Jetstar lost a singles match, but as a tag team, they've not lost anything. If they work better as a team and they're just a really solid tag team, then great. That's awesome. I love that. Submission applied here as Cody crawls towards the ropes, but Ted broke it up. Ted with a very cheap shot there to Jetstar as Cody takes control. Cody and Ted definitely didn't really find themselves during their time on ECW, I'd say. And as Cody said himself, his reason for realigning with Randy Orton is simply he couldn't beat him. And if you can't beat him, you might as well join them. And it's maybe not the most respectable decision, but it's an honest statement. It's an honest decision. Cody Rhodes said, I can't beat Randy Orton. He has bested me. He has beaten the hell out of me. I might as well be in that guy's corner. I don't want to be his enemy. And Ted DiBiase simply refused to go over to ECW again. Hated his time on ECW. And has realigned with the Legacy just so that he would be on Monday nights. That's pretty much his main motivation. He just wanted to keep away from the former from his former brand on Tuesdays. Interestingly enough, Ted's biggest issue with ECW back in the day, for those that don't recall, maybe didn't see Season 2 or whatever, his biggest issue, Miss McMahon, the ECW general manager, is the Raw general manager right now. You'd think that would bother Ted a lot more, but I suppose realistically there's been a lot of stepping in lately and keeping keeping McMahon at bay, making sure he doesn't make too many kind of biased decisions. A lot of Shane McMahon's actions simply come from the fact that, believe it or not, he is very similar to his father. Him quickly going in for a championship and trying to capture it. Not entirely on McMahon, that is Shane, who has been so very hasty with his career and saying, I should be a champion. This is a very strange moment in this tag match. Ted DiBiase and Jetstar. I don't believe Legacy have ever really faced off against the Disciples before. I'm really happy to see Cody and Ted back together, though. I feel like this really brought out the best in both of them. Ted DiBiase going in for a roll-up. Nope.
Got out of the way of that one. That was an impressive suplex.
14, 29, 28, 35. Wow, so that means that roughly there's 30 minutes of menus and entrances per show. I was trying to think to myself, like, the average match in Universe goes kind of 7 or 8 minutes. So you're talking anywhere between 35 and 40 minutes of wrestling each episode. But each recording goes like an hour to an hour 15. Like, this one's just past the hour mark. And it's like, wow, there are a lot of menus and entrance time. Like, you don't really think about it, but there's a lot. I actually haven't been able, since starting Season 3, to record an episode of Raw, ECW, and SmackDown all in one sitting once. I haven't managed to do it, because it's too long. Now that they're over an hour recording, I feel bad if I go for too long, because I feel like I'm just kind of like losing like a lot of the day. But I only get 2 days a week where I record Universe, so I get really stressed and like try my best to get them all out quick. I mean, to be fair, the only reason this episode's going to be so long is because I haven't played any matches at all, and I'm aware that the AI dicks around 9 times out of 10. You know, Ryder and Jinder was not a match that needed to go for very long. But I've also learned that if I let the AI play against itself, like if it's AI versus AI, and I set it to match experience fast, well, we've already seen what happens. Number one, I'll put it this way, Kelly versus Natalya was set to fast experience because I thought it would just be a nice easy squash for Natalya, and that didn't exactly work too well. The tag match back on ECW a few weeks back, between, what was it, Dude Love and Brodus up against Big Show and Cesaro. I set that one to fast because I thought, oh, the tag matches probably should be set to fast. That was a bad move because that match ended in a matter of seconds with a submission hold. Because if they lock in a submission hold, they just win straight away on fast experience. And it's like, oh, okay. That was a waste. And yeah, I don't mind the odd squash match occasionally, but also, like, I do mind squash matches quite a lot when they come at the wrong time. Kelly beating Natalya in a few seconds was fine. I managed to cover up as a controversy, but if I hadn't managed to come up with that, I would have just been annoyed. The Big Show and Cesaro defeating Dude Love and Brodus. If it weren't for the fact that Cody had applied that submission hold like 4 times on Cena the night prior and made Cena tap so many times, that would have looked really stupid. But I was able to be like, oh, that's just a devastating move. Why does he have Daniel Bryan's finisher as just an ordinary running move? Did Ted really do that just as a standard move? Did Ted do that? I don't honestly remember a single Ted DiBiase match. It's quite funny when you think about how hard I pushed him in the original universe. His big NXT title feud and stuff, and like... I don't actually really know that much about him. Never really watched a lot of the Legacy era. As I say, I was kind of a flip-floppy fan up until about 2011. That was what really made me into it. Like, I have a lot of really fond memories between 2005 and 10, barring when Vicky Guerrero came along and completely ruined wrestling for me. But for a while, I had some really good memories of it, and like, I think back to it, and like, I think realistically, the only reason I don't remember so much of those years is because you couldn't really watch it online very easily between 2005 and like 10-ish and 11-ish. You had to order pay-per-views, you couldn't get the network, and like, you couldn't go to watchwrestling.com or whatever and watch an episode. Like, you had to either watch it live or you had to watch it on the one time it was aired. And here in the UK, WWE has, for as long as I've been alive, up until most recently, been exclusive to Sky Sports, which is like a £40 a month extra package, and I like 0 other sports. So I would be asking my mom, obviously, because I was younger at that point, to get a sports package that costs her, you know, 40 extra a month, so I could watch a show 2 times a week, Raw and SmackDown. Because as a kid, ECW did not appeal to me. It does now. WWE ECW, looking back, was actually kind of cool. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it was pretty much NXT before NXT. Like, it was good, honestly. And like early ECW, WECW was like this weird fake version of the real ECW that had loads of WWE tie-ins, and as a kid, you know, that was really cool, so I'm never gonna hate it, personally. But looking back, like, yeah, that's the reason. It's like, occasionally my mum would be like, okay, I'll get the sports package for you, and, you know, I'd watch it a couple times, and stuff, and then it would get cut off again. It'd be like, well, it's just not worth the money. And I totally get that, you know. I'm not a football fan. I'm not a basketball fan. I mean, pretty much Sky Sports, to my knowledge, is 900% football. It's so fucking uninteresting to me. I hate FIFA. I hate British football. I have absolutely no goddamn interest in it whatsoever. I actually hate it as a sport. I can't stand it. I hate its fans. I hate the concept of it. I hated having to sit through and watch them with people growing up because it was the boy thing to do, and I was strongly told that I needed to do it. It sucks. I don't like it at all. So it's quite funny. I think I've had questions before. People being like, "Hey, you gonna do a FIFA playthrough?" No. I'd rather take a shit on a FIFA game than fucking put it in a console. Absolutely not. But like, looking at it, that's why I don't remember a lot of that era, I think, is because I just kind of like, unless I had someone that would like VHS record it for me, I wasn't watching any WWE shows. And for that matter, it was generally, I'd miss all the weekly shows, read them on like Lords of Pain or whatever the fuck it was, and then maybe, if I was lucky, my mum would order a pay-per-view because they were a lot cheaper. They're only £15 over here. I hear they were $60 if you were a US fan. They were £15 over here. I don't know where that conversion came in, that you had to pay that fucking much and we didn't. But I'd get the fair share of pay-per-views. It's just without the weekly shows, they didn't make any fucking sense. So I never really got that into it, and I think that's why I started kind of getting more into it around 2011, is because then you had like Watch Wrestling and you know, not so very agreed upon streams and stuff. It's a fucking expensive sports package for a not sports fan that just likes wrestling, okay? The network is a brilliant invention. Even if it is a month behind, it's still a brilliant invention. It's just a shame that when Jinder Mahal won the WWE title, I kind of gave up on WWE and nothing has made me want to come back since. That's the honest to God truth. Even when I was really happy Edge and Edge returned and Drew McIntyre won a world title and all this and that, like, nothing has compelled me enough to go, yep, I want to sit down for 3 hours and watch that. I'd rather record this with that amount of time. This is my wrestling. This is it. Hey look, Ditch went on a long boring ramble again. Aren't you glad? Obviously a lot of my knowledge as well came from the games I played. Like a lot of it was that. It was just the games I played and the dirt sheets I read. That was pretty much it. I was amazed when I lived with my dad for a little while in the US, and I realized that WWE was just on USA Network, which is just a standard ass channel. And it was like, oh my god, and then like SmackDown was on Sci-Fi, and I was like, holy fuck, I can actually watch these. And you best believe I did. You know, until the commercial breaks just kind of got on my nerves because there's so many. That's where Watch Wrestling and the WWE Network come in handy. Man, this match is just going on forever, isn't it? I think tag matches, you kind of have to run the risk of a fast experience, because otherwise they just go on and on and on. Because obviously the durability of everyone just means more in this than it did in 12, so everyone lasts longer. The matches go on for longer, but it's like I'm at the hour 10 mark and I still have a 4-way as the main event. This is going to be a very, very long episode of Raw. Why does Jetstar keep doing that? I know they're not actually splitting. I don't want to start speculating that. Oh, there you go. There's the finisher move from Nemesis. Disciples win. Disciples win. So, next week on Raw, it will be the Power Trip up against Disciples of Darkness, as Cody and Ted have failed the legacy here tonight in defeating the World Tag Team Champions. These two just keep on excelling as a tag team. I don't know what's gotten into them, but they are doing fantastic this season. 4-0 as a team now. This is the turnaround these guys desperately needed, and it's gone great. As we move towards our main event, a 4-way elimination matchup. Booker T, Shawn Michaels, Kane, John Cena, One of these four will meet Randy Orton for the WWE Championship in the main event of Raw next week.
The following contest scheduled for one fall is a fatal four-way match. Making his way to the ring from Houston, Texas, weighing 256 pounds, Booker T.
Booker T, everybody. God, I can't get over how much better he looks in this game. Like, he doesn't look great. He still has a very strange face. But I think just the fact that he's actually, you know, black and not, like, yellowy orange. Like, yeah, thanks. Thanks for realizing what Booker T actually looks like. Just a little bit. Just a little bit more than you did before. I just don't know why they did this to him. Who did he piss off? It's just like, it looks like a CAW. It really does. That looks like a CAW. I've downloaded a CAW in like 2K14 that looked like that. I'm sure of it. Shawn Michaels making his way down to the ring here tonight. You haven't seen this man since he contended for the World Heavyweight Championship. Shawn Michaels is someone I feel we've been sorely missing just lately. Whoa, he's moving really fast. As he hasn't quite made his presence felt on Monday nights, I don't feel. But you never know what's dwelling in the back of his head, where he could be headed next. One thing I do know, fists up, brother. Yeah. Shawn Michaels back in the building to potentially become #1 contender for the WWE Championship. Well, of course, Kane making his way to the ring. He is an important part of Monday nights just lately, including last week when he finally set foot in the ring with the man that he has been obsessed with ending, and that is John Cena. We've tried to get comment from Kane on what it is that fuels him, that motivates this hatred that he has for John Cena. Kane has been completely unable for comment. We've not been able to get any information on what it is that Kane wants from Cena, why it is that Kane wants to destroy the former WWE Champion John Cena, who has definitely had a downfall. Here he comes, John Cena wasting absolutely no time after last week's loss to Kane. Well, he knows the biggest threat in this match, and of course he had to try and make sure to take him out nice and early. Makes sense to me. John Cena suffered a loss to Kane last week. He knows that's a tough guy to get through. Shawn Michaels taking the control of Kane, who was laid out by John Cena. Cena goes straight for Booker T. Of course, Booker and Cena have some history. Former teammates in a group known as the Crew. Be interesting to see if John Cena could maybe rally that back up. I don't know. Shawn Michaels driving away. Oh, and a big head there. Big head. Big head from Kane.
And the boot connects with the abdomen.
Oh, Shawn Michaels getting rolled up on the turnbuckle there.
Veteran reversal by Shawn Michaels.
We're working over the leg of Cena.
The quick kick. Booker T into the headlock.
Wow, what a sequence.
Oh,
There's the close
love when the controller almost falls off my leg. Good stuff. It's going to be an interesting fatal 4-way matchup. Falls count anywhere. No, actually, I think there are disqualifications in a I think there are disqualifications in a 4-way if it's elimination, as you can be eliminated by disqualification. Not like a standard 4-way where that would lead to who actually wins. Or wondering who actually wins, I should say. So curious to see in what order we'll see elimination in this matchup. Naturally, a lot of me says that I think we're going to be seeing John Cena and Kane make it to the very end, but you just never know. Shawn Michaels is a former WWE champion, the second ever man to hold the WWE title. It'll be interesting to see if Michaels could capture it for a second time next week on Raw, but of course you'd have to get through this 4-way first. Randy Orton, you know, going to be watching this match very carefully. The WWE champion has his issues with John Cena, although Orton claims the chapter of John Cena in his life is over. He used John Cena to bring the title to Raw so he would have a championship for him to win. As John Cena hoists up Booker T, there's an FU. Is this going to be enough to get the job done? John Cena going in for the cover on Booker? No. Booker T kicking out of a finishing move from a 3-time WWE champion. John Cena has certainly got quite the accomplishment under his name. He is the only man to have ever held the WWE Championship 3 times. I believe other than John Cena, the only man to have ever held the WWE title more than once is, has anyone actually? I don't know. You know, I don't think anyone has. I think that is the whole list, actually. Let's see, we got Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Christian, Cena. Cena's first reign ended to Stone Cold. Then The Miz. Then Cena. Then Undertaker. Then Cena. Yeah, Cena's the only guy to have ever held the title multiple times, and he's held it 3 times. And then obviously I'm Randy Orton now. I don't know why I forgot to include the current champion. I think we're on the 10th WWE champion. Is that? I'm gonna quickly check that. I mean, I say 10th, but he's technically what, the 7th guy to have held it if Cena's held it 3 times. No, he'd be the 8th, 7th. Oh, God, I hate trying to type on the wiki on the phone. It just never works. There have been 9 title changes. Wait, have I not updated it to say that Orton's the champion? Whoops. I have not. Whoopsie! I'll be sure. By the time you see this, that will be different. It's just I forgot to do that, I guess. Yeah, there have been 8 different WWE champions since the title was introduced in November of 2009. It rolls around the arena. Had some pretty lengthy championship reigns in the past, from Stone Cold to The Miz, but more recently, they've been a little bit short-lived. John Cena with 42 days, Undertaker 28, John Cena 21, Orton now in control. Will Orton lose the WWE Championship next week to one of these 4 and continue that curse for the WWE title? The WWE title seems to have taken place of the World Heavyweight Championship, which at one point was changing very frequently. Suck. Ah. Just felt like reading that sign, you know. Quite a lot of Raw superstars on display here tonight. We know next week on Raw, confirmed now, we will be seeing a light heavyweight championship matchup between Zack, Ryder and R-Truth. As well as that, you can look forward to a World Tag Team Championship battle between the Power Trip and the Disciples of Darkness. The Women's Championship on the line as Tiny Shiny challenges Kelly Kelly once again, this time for the title. The Intercontinental Championship being challenged by Wade Barrett. The Miz will be defending against Wade Barrett next week after Barrett's challenge. It'll be interesting to see if the Core actually come in the corner of Wade Barrett and try to help him defeat The Miz. This is an interesting time for Wade Barrett to do that, clearly planning his spots carefully as he knows how much Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater want to take out The Miz. Clever of him to go for the Intercontinental Championship, if you ask me. Shawn Michaels going in for a cover after a brilliant combination of moves, with Kane kicking out at 2. And of course the WWE Championship on the line in the main event, which will be contested between Randy Orton and the winner of this elimination 4-way matchup, which right now there are no eliminations happening in. Sidewalk Slam! That's usually the beginning of the end for any opponent Kane's up against. Shawn Michaels with a very quick kick out. Oh boy. Tombstone pile driver. That's not a move you see every day out of Kane's arsenal. We've got 2 pins here. Referee waving off both of them. You couldn't count them both. Told them both to release the pin. Shawn Michaels. He's taking it all in. He's bringing it all in. He's taking in the aura from the crowd. He's absorbing their energy. And he's forgotten what he was going to do. What was I doing again? I just got so hyped up, I just completely forgot. Oh man, Booker T crashing over those steel steps. John Cena really taking it to his former teammate. I tell you what, I was talking before about maybe John Cena could get the crew back together. I don't think so.
What's Kane thinking?
Again with the steel steps.
Not at this treatment. Steel steps smashing into Booker T again and again.
Too slow. And there's another battering ram-like shot with those heavy steps.
These guys have just been relentless with each other.
Caught the leg.
Wow.
Booker T 1 step ahead.
Sorry. That still amuses me, I guess.
There's another Russian leg sweep. Controlling the head.
An incredible series of moves there. Big impact into the guardrail. He missed. Oh, there's a smile on
Oh
Booker T.
boy, John Cena in a dangerous spot. Booker T. Boom, baby. You know what? It's the main event. That's actually fine. You can do that.
What impact?
Speared John Cena straight through that barricade. Did you know that the WWE is in HD, folks? That's right, HD. You can watch this video in 720p or an upscaled 1080p because this game isn't actually in 1080p. You got so much choice for HD options. 720, fake 1080. What do you want? What more could you want?
You are watching cable television's hottest show, Monday Night Raw.
Oh, I don't know about that. Oh boy, Booker, look out! Jesus Christ, no! Oh my God! I think he just whipped off the steel steps John Cena into the cover, and the referee took too long to get out there. Booker T able to kick out once again from an FU from John Cena.
That's the question.
Big collision with that restraining order.
Oh, what a shot. That head's like a battering ram. Impressive suplex. What a fierce kick.
John Cena dropping down in the face of Booker T. That busted him open.
Booker T
A
turning.
low blow by Booker. Anything legal here, clearly. I thought this was DQ for elimination, but I saw those steel steps come into play. And I know now that this is a no DQ elimination 4-way matchup. Goes to show how well I know the rules and why you should do what everybody else does and not listen to me. Just kidding, actually. It turns out a lot of people listen to me. I got a lot of response to something I rambled on about in a match a while back. Turns out actually quite a few of you do listen to me. There's just, I guess it's just a select few that don't, which is always going to be the case, and that's why you shouldn't give them your time of day. Booker T going over the cover. Is this going to be enough? No. We're not even getting 1 counts anymore. We've got the no count now.
Not fast enough.
And what happens if all of these guys, like if there's like no eliminations and their time's up, we get a championship scramble next week? Randy Orton got to defend against all 4?
Missed him. Cena's in trouble.
That could be real trouble for Randy Orton, having only just captured the WWE Championship.
And again, the
I mean, he looked great in his match against Bret Hart, but Bret Hart's just one man.
Oh no! He seems dazed. He's confused.
Ooh. Kane, he's playing to the crowd. Didn't realize he was a real crowd pleaser like that, but there you go. Uh-oh, John Cena and Kane locking up for the first time since this match started. And no, they're not. Roll up by Shawn Michaels. Nope. John Cena trying to get the hell away from the man that has been haunting him just lately, but Kane is in pursuit. And oh boy, Kane, tombstone power driver on the concrete, damn it. Concrete, damn it. Goes in for the cover, referee sliding out the ring, and wow, he is really not good at counting pins. He is really bad. I think he actually broke that one up with his landing. I don't know what these guys are made of, but they are kicking out of all sorts of finishes tonight. I feel like I'm watching an indie show. John Cena trying to force a submission out of Kane. That would be a hell of a feat. Kane tapping out is not exactly something I can imagine.
Total destruction. He might not know where he is right now. And the big red monster gets chopped down.
Shawn way too experienced to get caught by a sloppy
Fist
move
drop
like
by
that.
Cena to the face of Kane, and Shawn Michaels slowly dropping down Booker T. Michaels going for another cover. Booker is bleeding all over the place. He is clearly very beaten down, very hurt in this matchup. But there is no give in the amount of fight in Booker T. Big cross body there by Shawn. Wow, he tipped up so fast. Here's the cover. And that's a no. John Cena going in for the 5-knuckle shuffle. Woo, it's a punch to the face with a lot of theatrics. Everyone going to be bleeding by the end of this one. Kane with a kick out.
Has the headlock, and he lights up his chest with a chop.
Booker T seems to be in a real troublesome place, but he's finally getting that offense in. Shawn Michaels dropped with a spine buster. We still haven't had a single elimination. We're almost halfway through the time limit of this matchup. Booker with a cover. Shawn Michaels is out. No World Heavyweight, no WWE Championship, sorry. Opportunity for Shawn Michaels, as this match becomes a triple threat elimination match now, with 16 minutes remaining on the clock. John Cena measuring, looking for the FU, but Booker T seems to have completely taken that away from Cena. I guess the same goes if this match goes to a time up with these two in the ring. I suppose we get a Booker T mocking the former WWE champion there. Say a former ally of his. Booker and Cena have a lot of history with each other in the crew, and it looks like that is definitely done, dusted, dead. I mean, John Cena is the reason Booker is bleeding. Oh my God!
And again he moves to the outside.
Oh no! Those steps have to weigh over 200 pounds.
And he gets back in the ring.
Okay. We've hit a weird moment.
Oh, the punch connects.
Oh yeah, we've hit a real weird moment in the match.
What a nasty elbow. Booker T controlling the waist.
A bit of a neck breaker onto the steel steps. That's revenge for earlier. John Cena dropped Booker T on the steel steps just the same way. Oh, not the same way as an attitude adjustment, but you know, sorry, an FU. Speaking of which, Booker T. Oh my God! Did he just drop him onto those? Good Lord!
Into the headlock. Narrowly avoids the attack there. And he got turned inside out. And now John Cena will lead to
I am really unsure who is making it to Randy Orton for a WWE title match. But I'll tell you what, they're not exactly going to be 100%. They are beating the hell out of each other in this elimination matchup. Shawn Michaels definitely, I gotta say, wasn't a very standout star in this match. I actually don't recall really saying much about him in this. Booker T now stepping up to the challenge. As we see a Boston Crab applied by John Cena. He's from Boston, you know. Massive two shits. That's not a jab at anyone from Massachusetts. Don't take it that way, please. For the love of God. People get so offended at the shit I come out with, and it's like, I'm just trying to have fun. I'm just trying to joke. You know? Laugh. Haha. Fun. Jeez, this has been almost, like... For real, the recording length of this episode is just hit 1 hour 36. Like... I wanted to do more than one episode today. Cena with a cover on Kane, and Cena has gotten revenge on Kane.
Uh-oh, the big red machine has been busted open.
Now, the plot thickens between John Cena and Kane as we now come down to two former teammates and a WWE Championship opportunity. Don't end that way. Okay, good. A WWE Championship opportunity between these two former teammates. Bookend? No freaking way! Cover by Booker T. Booker T is getting a WWE title shot next week. Booker and Truth could walk out of next week's Raw with the light heavyweight and WWE Championship. This is a tag team that has excelled tonight, and I cannot believe the victory that Booker T just picked up. He's #1 contender for the WWE title. Fans love it. Booker T came out on top. I mean, he's kind of lost a lot of blood. I can't really say I'm too surprised by the way he's moving around right now. That guy is not in a good place mentally. But once he realizes what's just happened, this man has just won the biggest victory of his career. Booker T will challenge Randy Orton for the WWE Championship next week. Hey, he actually looks like Booker T there, kinda. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on ECW.